Yeah, man! Serious times down in Johannesburg. Watch the fire now. Listen! The horns! Oh, yeah. The stage was set, the lights were low for the big G20 show. Leaders coming from across the sea to talk about the world economy. Johannesburg was dressed to impress, ready to clean up the global mess. But before the first gavel could sound, a different kind of noise started going around. Now everybody talking about Cyril's big blunder. He lighting the match while we standing under. You think you're smart with that devious smile, but you're burning down the bridge for mile after mile. Oh, Cyril's big blunder, what a heavy price when you're playing politics and rolling the dice. The party is cancelled, the guests wouldn't come. Now we dancing alone to the beat of the drum. The Kineon see politicians step up to the mic, spewing out words that nobody like. They open their mouths and the fire jump out, insulting America, scream and shout. They're telling tall tales, they're telling the lies, right there under the African skies. And the media catch it, they run with the ball, they amplify the noise until the whole thing fall off. Talking about Cyril's big blunder, he lighting the match while we standing under. You think you're smart with that devious smile, but you're burning down the bridge for mile after mile. Oh, Cyril's big blunder, what a heavy price when you're playing politics and rolling the dice. The party is cancelled, the guests wouldn't come. Now we dancing alone to the beat of the drum. Yeah. Watch the house of cards, they're tumbling over. Yeah, blow it down, what a mess. I look at the president sitting up high, I see that little twinkle in his eye. He cracking that smile, that devious grin, while the diplomatic ice is getting very thin. You think the eagle gonna take that heat? Nah, sir, they won't take a seat. No Uncle Sam at your Josie party. You chase them away, you're acting too hearty. It's Cyril's big blunder, he lighting the match while we standing under. You think you're smart with that devious smile, but you're burning down the bridge for mile after mile. Oh, Cyril's big blunder, what a heavy price when you're playing politics and rolling the dice. The party is cancelled, the guests wouldn't come. Now we dancing alone to the beat of the drum. Yeah, yeah, they stay no way America now come to Johannesburg today. You set the house on fire, man, what kind of plan? Cyril, wipe that smile off your face. It's a disgrace. No, sir. No, sir.
To the winners parade, every single debt was a price Jan paid. All the history books are getting a rest. We found a new guy to put to the test. Put away the portrait, stole the old quill. There's a brand new villain for the political bill. We're trading in the Jan card for a trump card. It's a shiny new way to play the blame game hard. Is the power going out? Is the road full of holes? Don't look at the budget or the voter polls. Just flip that card. See the golden hair. The dawn's the reason for the wear and tear. Yeah, we're trading in the Jan card for a trump card today. but don't ask how, and don't ask why. Forget the years of the same old crew. The orange man in DC is coming for you. Inequality's rising, it's alarming like a plot. He's so mean and evil, believe it or not. The original gangster is out of the door, 'cause Jan Van Riebeek isn't trendy no more. He's the new scapegoat, the fresh alibi. Whether the promises turn to a lie. America's mean, the world is so cold. It's the greatest story that's ever been told. Get your card, play your part, get host. Just flip that card, see the golden hair. The dawn's the reason for the wear and tear. Yeah, we're trading in the yen card for a trump card today. Bye-bye, Jan. See you later. Hello, Don. You're the hater. It's all his fault now. Every single bit of it. Check the card, baby.
Marvin Devine. I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Monday, January 12th, 2026. So far, I'm doing pretty well, not saying the wrong year. You know how that's always a challenge when the new year starts. You say the wrong year frequently, but I've been saying the correct year. 2026. Welcome back, folks. This is Chris live in Central Pennsylvania for your daily dose, your daily injection, your daily protection against misinformation, disinformation, propaganda, hysteria, and the Democratic left, as well as leftists around the planet. Let me just check in on the volume here. As leftists around. Sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good. Welcome back to the program. Once again, reminder, folks, this is not a refugee broadcast. If you want to talk about refugee questions, you must be polite and respectful and wait until the end of the news after we finish. Then we can discuss things like that. In the meantime, we are here to talk about other things, which is the news of the day. Iran approaching the United States, suggesting that they would like to negotiate their way out of the crisis in which they're apparently, according to multiple unconfirmed reports, have murdered thousands of innocent civilians. The United States preparing military options as we speak, and it is getting quite dicey. And no, EM7, President Trump never talked about any such thing in 2018. That's nonsense. In 2018, President Trump put a tweet out after watching Tucker Carlson on Fox News talking about farm murders. That's it. There was no mention of asylum, amnesty, refugee program. That was never uttered until 7 February 2025. That's factually incorrect. You're mistaken. No. All right, so big news. You know, I'm a frugal shopper. I buy things when they're on offer and discount, although I got screwed by the tariffs. This UK-based company charged me a 42% tariff when the tariff between the United States and the U.S. is just 10%. And quite frankly, that was a ripoff in and of itself because there was a delimitus, which President Trump suspended. So I used to buy rugby memorabilia kit and clothing from UK all the time and pay no tariffs on it because the delimitus. But the delimitus is gone, and it's supposed to be 10% tariff. And now I've been hit with a 42% tariff. But even so, I got 80% off of most of these items, so they wound up costing almost nothing. Let me show you the big reveal, what came today. Okay, you guys ready for this? So, got myself a beer stein for the British and Irish Lions tour. Check it out. This one's for Australia. So, pretty cool, huh? Looks like somebody's had their mouth on it already. There's a lip print up here. Anyway, there you go. That thing is heavy, man. You could do someone some mischief with that. You could just knock them out, man. It's not Temu. It's not Temu. All right. Then we got this one. This is I'm excited about. I went to the Women's Rugby World Cup, and this shirt wasn't available when I was at multiple games in York. So I got it now. York Community Stadium for Women's World Cup. It's pretty small on the front, that little label, but on the back you can see this was for the Women's Rugby World Cup that I just went to in September. Got that for just a couple of dollars. That shirt was not available when I was there, which is unfortunate, but now I've got it. So that's pretty cool. Official merchandise. You can see the tag down here. They charged a fortune for the stuff, and I got it for a fraction of what it cost back then. Here's another one. This is for the 2027 Men's World Cup in Australia. This merchandise just came out. That is a really big beer mug. You're correct about it. So this just came out. It looks kind of large. It's too big for me, but anyway, it'll shrink. It's just cotton. It looks to me like the thing in the center has got a different color, doesn't it? Look how it's pressed on there. That's interesting. Different color. Anyway, that's the World Cup. It hasn't occurred yet. Let's see what else we got here. Here's some more kit from the Women's World Cup. Yeah, the orange is kind of interesting. I'm not really an orange person, but I like that one. So this is this was also at the World Cup in 2025 in England, but it was way overpriced, and I didn't buy this one. So now I've got it with all the unions on there. So I like that aqua color. That's pretty nice. So that's good. I got this scarf, and it's apropos because it is wintertime here in the U.S. So British and Irish Lions scarf. I got that for like $5. $5. They're just trying to clear out their stock. So if you're clever and a frugal shopper and you're patient, you can come out way ahead on these things. So that came out pretty good. What else we got down here? Oh, now this one's interesting. I won't be able to wear this very often because the fact that it's white, which means it'll get dirty very easily. But it's pretty cool. I mean, it's kind of a chica color. So, I mean, as a dude, I suppose I might be able to get away with wearing this. But check this out. This top. It's pretty cool, huh? Look at that. Women's Rugby World Cup. I like the purple. That's why it got my attention. But it's white on the back. So that's kind of like a sort of a hoodie. Like not a hoodie, but a sweatshirt sort of thing. That's pretty cool. Got that one for like, I think, $10, $15. It was $85 originally. And then I have been able to find my balls for this. So now I've got these. This was just $3, if I recall correctly. The fan ball from the Women's World Cup. I didn't buy it there because it was equivalent of about $45 for the full size one. And I said, I'm not paying $45 for this stuff. Yeah. And so this one was $41 in England. I got it for, I think, $10. Yeah, $10. So that go along with all my collections, all my rugby balls and my fan balls. So pretty cool, huh? So frugal shoppers can do okay but you know, you run a risk. You don't get these things, but then I don't have to have them. But you run a risk of not being able to get them because they run out. But when they overstock, or more likely, the Chinese took too long to get the order to the UK, and so therefore it wasn't available when people were at the games. Yeah, there you go. So anyway, that's I always do the big reveal when I order a rugby kit. By the way, I just had an iced tea, but it tasted funny. So if I start to get a little lightheaded or pass out, my iced tea tasted funny. It tasted like antifreeze. Ugh, it didn't taste right. Not that I would know what antifreeze tastes like, but I know what it smells like. That was weird. So I've just put that aside and pulled out a mini Coke. I need something to drink. Now that tastes all right for that high fructose corn syrup. All right, so Joy Thron, welcome back to you. All right, folks, welcome back. Let me see if there's anything I need to catch here very quickly. I bought more T-shirts in one shopping order than one South African brings in their suitcase. Perhaps. All right, so lots of folks here. Let's see what we got there. Karen says, okay. As we keep forgetting we're car guards and Neanderthals. I forgot all about that. We haven't used that in a while, have we? Good day to all. Why is refugee program taking longer than I thought it would? It's not taking longer than I thought it was. I mean, seriously, have you been to Kenya, to the Dadaab camp, where 650,000 refugees live, many of them hoping to leave Kenya and go to the Netherlands, Germany, the UK, the United States, or France. Some of them waiting 3, 5, 10 years applying. This program is moving at light speed, and if you don't recognize that, then you don't have a full appreciation for what refugee status means. Hey, welcome, Vera. Good to see you again. Yeah, job hunting is tough. I get that, especially in South Africa where you're discriminated against. Okay. All right. Again, if people continue to talk about the refugee program in the chat, their chat is going to be deleted. Okay. Hundreds of unarmed civilians were similar to South African police killing protests during Soweto riots. No, not similar. That's not even close to the same. Very different situation. The Iranians are shooting people unprovoked. What happened in Soweto was very different. Wasn't right, but it was very different. I can't compare the two of them. Yeah, it looks like they want to run away for another day. Yeah, you like the white one. That's pretty cool. All right. Okay, guys. Let's get... it's Dante Van Vyk here. Welcome, Dante. Good to see you again. Let's go ahead and get to the news. Daughter's fiancé told blatantly no promotion because he's white. See, there you go. They just told him because he's white. There you go. Back feels better at the moment, but I'm sitting here cautiously so I don't mess with it. All right, let's get on to the news, folks, as we grow to an audience of 400 today. Iran is prepared for war, but willing to back down. Yeah, the mullahs realize that Trump is serious. This is what happens when you have a credible deterrence. Iran prepared for war, but open to U.S. talks as hundreds reported killed in protest. Iran says to prepare for war, but ready to negotiate with the United States based on mutual respect and interest. No, we have no respect for Iran. You are murderous thugs. After President Trump said Tehran called to negotiate as his administration weighs possible military intervention during widespread anti-government protest. The media is reporting more than 500 people dead. Others are reporting as many as 4,000 dead yesterday. Let's see what it is today. Trump weighs a response to Iran crackdown as Tehran says its communication is open with the U.S. Here's closed-circuit television showing Tehran's Abu Zar mosque being vandalized a day before state media reported it was set on fire. Look at this, people trashing the mosque. And now they're setting it on fire. Wow. They've had enough of the mullahs. And Reuters has verified that this is legitimate footage. Iran said today it's keeping communication with the U.S. open as President Trump weighed responses to deadly crackdown, which posed the stiffest challenges to clerical rule since 1979. He said on Sunday that U.S. may meet with Iranian officials, and he was in contact with Iran's opposition while piling pressure on its leaders. But the United States has no formal diplomatic ties with Iran. We do most of our communication through our Swiss counterparts. The Swiss are intermediary. Whenever we want to talk to the Iranians, we don't have a diplomatic mission there because they murdered or stole our embassy and attacked our diplomats in 1979. We've not had an embassy there. So anytime we speak to them, it's usually through the Swiss. But we're going to speak to them directly, apparently, according to Trump. But Trump said we may have to take action before we actually get a chance to meet. So pay attention to that. We may have to take action before we actually meet. Iran moderates its tone, but the moderates are backing a crackdown. The Islamic Republic is trying to boost its image by calling for supporters to take to the streets and labeling critics agents of the U.S. and Israel. But it's not working. Prominent advocates for reform in Iran are supporting the crackdown on anti-government protesters as the regime closes ranks in the face of one of the biggest challenges. They include President Masoud Pezeshkian, who at first advocated for a more conciliatory approach to the protests, but now calling for police to rein in rioters. That's not going to go well for the Iranian regime. Iran is fighting a war against terrorists, according to their government officials. Parliament speaker says as protests crackdown worsen. Iran's parliamentary speaker Mohammad Baghir Ghalibaf said today that a vast pro-government rally in Tehran that the state's deadly response to protest wave that has gripped the Islamic Republic was a war against terrorists. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. This report says at least 648 protesters killed. President Trump's credibility is on the line after he's promised to do something if they murder civilians. They've murdered hundreds, if not thousands at this point. Iran's military might break with the regime. Well, this is an opinion and not fact, but it is based on solid considerations. The regime's security goons services still beat, arrest, and occasionally kill, but perhaps not forever. Authoritarian regimes that rule by force fall when the people with guns decide they should. And that's exactly right. Dante, now is not the time. Really isn't. You have no reason to lose hope. You had no hope. You took on Julius Malema, and no one helped you. And now you've got a group here that supports you and help when they can. I would just say hang in there and do not say this, you lose hope, because this again, I'm going to break just for a second here because this is about refugee status. None of you are entitled to refugee status. No one is entitled. It's not a right. It's a privilege. It's been granted by President Trump, and over 1,000 plus people have come to the United States already, and many more are coming. And nobody is more important than anybody else. Some people have more urgent cases. Arguably, Dante Van Wyck's case is more urgent than others. But the reality is that without this program, your lawsuit would have gone forward against Julius Malema, and you would be in an even worse situation without any possibility of hope. People need to stop focusing on their immediate situation. I've been stuck here. I've been stuck here. You're not stuck there. Went through this repeatedly over the weekend about people. Well, I've been waiting since November. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. I've been waiting since October. No, you haven't. Because 60 days don't count. You can't count days that no one's working the program. They're dead days. They don't exist. They exist in our existence, in our lives. We've breathed, we've lived, we've eaten, hopefully, we've survived, but they do not count on the calendar. There's no one working the case. For 2 months of the past 3 months, no one has been there. No one is at home. So stop with this. All of you who are talking about this, all of you need to stop it. You need to stop it, okay? Those of you who want to get out of South Africa didn't have a fucking prayer to get out of South Africa a year ago. You had no hope. Nobody gave a shit about you. Nobody offered you anything. And I'm not picking on Dante. It's not Dante, but there's been a few comments here in the chat about the refugee. I've already said this is not a refugee chat. You're going to start getting timeouts. And if it hurts your feelings, too bad. Stop disrupting the news. Pay attention to the news. This is a news broadcast. Does it say refugee anywhere? It does not. The lead title for this thing was about Iran. I'm trying to talk about Iran right now. You were offered nothing by anybody. Did the Irish, did the French, did the Germans, did the Dutch, the Australians, New Zealanders, the Canadians offer you jack squat? No, they offered you nothing. Trump offered you something. Yes, the program is chaotic. Yes, it's poorly managed in my view. Yes, it's unfair in many respects, but it's what you have. If you don't like it, then just disappear and don't do it. But stop belly aching in my stream. Stop belly aching my stream. All right? Enough. 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 Genoeg is genoeg. And don't give me, oh, you're uncaring, you're mean, oh, mean old colonel, you don't understand, it's terrible here. I fucking understand. I've been to South Africa. I've lived in Southern Africa. I get it. And I got it long before most of you woke up to the reality in South Africa. 30 years ago, I reported on this shit in South Africa, in the intelligence community. I know, I understand, I appreciate, I empathize, but belly aching in my stream during my news broadcast will not change your circumstances. It will not improve your life. It will not get you on a fucking plane any faster. All it will do is piss people off and ruin this broadcast. Okay? Can we get back to the news now? That's what the Sunday belly aching session is for. That's why I have a refugee. That's why I give up my Sundays to have a stream, to answer these questions repeatedly, over and over again. For many people who are simply too lazy to bother to watch the content. Can we move on? No, Napoleon, I'm not angry. See that? You think I'm angry. You see? See? You don't get it, man. You don't get it. Yeah, that's right, Psycho Billy. In the past, I've closed the chat. I've closed the chat during news. Dante, again, do not apologize. That wasn't directed to you. See, stop. It's not about you, Dante. That was not directed at Dante Van Wyck. Again, I tell people I'm not talking about that. It's just that yesterday, during the news, the same thing happened. People coming in here and moaning about it all the time. Napoleon, I'm not angry. That's called passion. That's called commitment. That's called love of what you're doing. That's called caring about the situation. That's what this is all about. Okay? Angry? Nah, man. Not angry. You haven't seen me angry. That's right, Dylan. 0 to 60 in 0.02 seconds. And back down to 0. Trump Economist says he's getting hot for everyone pissing and moaning about a gift horse. Exactly. And why are you doing it here? Why are you doing it here? Why do people come here and piss and moan about it in my chat? Why don't they do that somewhere else? Oh, I'm not angry. Oh, you don't want to see me angry. There are some viewers here. Dante, you have communication with me. If you've got something urgent, write to me, okay? Please drop it, okay? Please drop it, okay? I lost track of my stream of thought there. Where's it going? Anyway, so yeah, write to me, Dante, okay? All right. Yeah, so, but it's been going on all weekend, and it gets old. It really gets old, okay? And again, not directed at Dante, but you weren't the only one in the chat who was talking about this, and you weren't really pissing about it. You just said you were losing. Other people were pissing about it. It's getting ridiculous. I don't understand. People feel that it's their right to come here and moan and ruin the mood for my viewers who are trying to watch this program. I've had it with 4 or 5 people this weekend who've now just disappeared. Their feelings hurt. You know what? And I've had enough of the nonsense. Yeah, it did seem to escalate this weekend. A lot of whining this weekend. It's not fair, Trump. You know what? You can cry, but what's going to change? You can piss in one hand, you can crap in the other hand. And guess what? Both hands smell funny. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't change anything. It won't get you on a list. Do you think maybe some people think that, hey, Chris is just holding out. Chris has all the answers. He runs the program. If I just piss and moan and whine on his program, he'll pay attention to me. Hey, me, over here, please. I want to go to the front of the queue. Oh, okay. Well, I see you cry about it so many times in my chat. Let me make a note of that now. Okay. So we're going to get Laverne Fundamev out tomorrow now because you whined enough on my program. It's not how it works, guys. Not how it works. I'm sure some feelings are hurt now. Somebody's going to run off to the other recent content creators and go, oh, that mean old colonel. Oh, he's so mean. He's picking on the refugees. He hates South Africa. He's a racist, a white supremacist. All right, back to the news. Here we go. Well, I can do something for some people occasionally, but the problem is people just making assumptions. All right, here we go. Back to the news, folks. China leads warships from Russia and Iran in show of force. A show of force. A show of force. Pew, 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 pew. A show of force. The South African Defense Force. A show of force. Iran's one rusty ship. There's more steel in the residential neighborhoods of Simonstown than there was on the Iranian ship. A show of force. Stupid people should wear sides. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is a good. Ivan Komenko. This must be a Russian propaganda site. China leads warships from Russia and Iran in a show of force near South Africa's key trade route. It's not South Africa's key trade route. It's a global key trade route. There's a Chinese destroyer, Tangshan, moored in False Bay. Naval forces from China, Russia, Iran, and South Africa have launched a multinational maritime exercise near one of the world's key shipping corridors, signaling a coordinated demonstration of naval capability outside the traditional Western-led frameworks. The drill involves ships and crews from the 4 participating countries and is officially focused on ensuring the safety of maritime economic activity and improving interoperability among naval forces. The South African government confirmed the event in a statement issued on December 30th. The exercise is to be described as a joint action to secure the sea lanes and build capacity for maritime security. Secure the sea lanes. South Africa bought three frigates from the Germans 20 years ago. One is operational, SAS Amatola. That's it. What are you going to patrol with? Yeah, Rita Talibi can say what she wants. It's a free country, but people can ignore her too. China's Navy is leading the exercise, deploying the guided missile destroyer Tangshan and a replenishment ship Tahu. Yes. A show of force. Oh my goodness. South Africa risks angering Trump by hosting navies of Iran, Russia, and China. Military exercises come at a time of already strained U.S. relations. South Africa, already on the outs with the Trump administration, is risking further ire from Washington this week by welcoming Iranian, Russian, and Chinese warships. The U.S. is taking a dim view of the fact that South African hosted the exercises called Will for Peace includes warships from countries Washington sees as global rivals. No, global threats, not rivals. There is no country that can rival the United States for its geopolitical strength, its military capacity, its industrial capacity, and its economic heft. Not even China. China is falling apart. Anyway, so good luck with that exercise there. Helen Zilla, running for mayor of Joburg. A resident in a week, plans for a seat by March. She is going to fill a proportional representative seat that's vacant currently. 2 DA seats are currently vacant. And one of the wards, the person's filling the PR seat is going to fill the ward seat, and they get 95% there, so she's going to win it. And Helen will go on the city council in advance of the municipal elections. And then, of course, nobody votes for Helen. You vote for parties, and it's unlikely that the DA will get 50% in Joburg. In fact, frankly, it's impossible. I doubt they'll get enough to even form a coalition, but we shall see. Cyril Ramaphosa vows decisive action in 2026 to revive ailing municipalities or face the voters' wrath. Wow, decisive action. Man, what does that look like? I'm looking for, what is decisive action by the ANC? I don't think I've ever seen that before. Decisive action. I mean, that's pretty interesting. Do you guys have any idea what decisive action is? Does that mean that there's less money for the caterers? What does that mean? Here's some decisive action. Okay, I caution you now, ladies and gentlemen, if you have small children in the room, I caution you now if you have small children in the room. I do not know the provenance of this video. I do know that it's been posted. It appears to be South African National Defense Forces. It appears to be them floating in the Limpopo River, the border between Zimbabwe and South Africa, but it looks pretty full for water for the Limpopo because usually a lot of spots it's a creek, so I'm not really sure where this is at, but this is the South African National Defense Force in action, being chased away by purportedly Zimbabweans who are heckling them. Go away, you silly Englishman. Your mother was a hamster and your father smelled of elderberries. Yes, that's essentially what happened here. This is the mighty reaction of the South African National Defense Force. Now, again, folks, I caution you, if you have small children, there is profanity coming, a lot of profanity coming right now in this video. So just be prepared. These gentlemen are not exactly statesmen.
This is not your side. Yes. Fuck. Let's take them here. Shut up, motherfucker. Suck. Stupid. Fuck off. Suck. Muyumuru. Bastards. Fuck off. Satanyok. Stupid. Yumuru. Bastards.
The powerful South African National Defense Force running away from boys with rocks. Yes, we are terrified here in the United States at the mighty SANDF and Chinese naval exercise off the coast of Africa. Yes, we're terrified. What does decisive action look like, Cyril? What does decisive action look like in South Africa? Maybe it's this. Maybe it's the overwhelming love and support for the African National Congress, a party that's betrayed the liberation struggle in its graft and corruption, its incompetence. Maybe that's what's going on. So let's take a look at the Moralang Stadium located near Pilanesberg in Northwest Province. Of course, they didn't hold this event at the Royal Bafokeng Stadium in Rustenburg because it holds too many people. It would have been even more embarrassing. The excuses are it was hot. So hot that people didn't want to be there. And on top of that, the road was packed with traffic. Well, had you gone to the Royal Bafokeng Stadium, people could have driven in from Sun City. They could have driven in from Rustenburg proper. They could have driven in from the motorway. Lots of ways to get into Royal Bafokeng, and a fantastic venue, which I attended for the rugby or the FIFA World Cup in 2010. But ladies and gentlemen, this is what I want to show you now. This is the attendance at that event.
I greet the national officials and members of the ANC National
massive
Executive
crowd.
Committee, the leadership of COSATU, the SACP and SANCO. I also extend my greetings to representatives of the ANC and leadership of the ANC Veterans League, the ANC
Empty
Women's
seats
League,
everywhere. Look at the empty seats.
the ANC Youth League, and representatives and leaders of Umkhonto Wesizwe Liberation War veterans. I also extend greetings to the veterans and stalwarts of our movement, and also would like to thank representatives
Look at the
of
empty seats.
fraternal movements and political
Empty
parties
seats.
who are here present. Earlier this morning, I spoke to President Emmerson Mnangagwa, the president of ZANU-PF, who asked me to extend his greetings and congratulations to the African.
How much money did it cost to erect that structure? I mean, you know, rock bands don't get stages that big. I mean, look at that. That's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And nobody rocked up. Yep, nobody rocked up. Apparently, they didn't have enough money to pay for the buses. They didn't have enough money for the KFC. They didn't have enough money. So now I'm curious. What does decisive action from the ANC look like? What will it be? More oppression? more constitutional violation laws. As the country moves towards local government elections scheduled to take place between 2 November and 31 January, the ANC has placed municipalities at the center of its political strategy. Really? 31 years later. Look, it's Fikede Mabalula and Gwede Batasha. Oh, you said lazy black people should get jobs. They're too lazy to get jobs. If the Americans won't give us the money, we won't give them the minerals. If the lazy shits in Northwest won't get a job, I've never relied on the government for a job. I've never relied. Never, never, never. No, you should not rely on the government for a job. I didn't do that. No, never mind the patronage. Never mind the patronage. No, I've never relied on the government for a job. No, never happened. Never, 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 never. No, never happened. Grady Montasha, man. What a clown. What a clown. What an absolute clown. What a clown.
Stupid people should wear some.
And here's some stupid people.
Neon bright so we can find
Lard asses, all three of them.
a way to dodge their tangled mess. Avoid their chaos more.
Say less.
Wear a sign, wear a sign. Save me from your twisted line. Wear a sign, wear a sign. Nada, nada, don't waste your time.
Look at that empty stadium.
Politicians dance and spin.
That's not half empty, that's 80% empty.
Blatant lies with a practiced grin. Blame the moon, blame the stars. Blame the traffic or faulty cars. You think
There's another starving minister. Pemi Mojadina. The clouds are gathering, Tata. The clouds are gathering. Wear a sign, Pemi.
Wear a sign, wear a sign. Save me from your twisted line. Wear a sign, wear a sign. Nada, nada, don't waste your time. Celebrities with tails so tall. Lost my yacht, it's so small. It's hard being rich, don't you see? You're
Living in your fantasy. Clouds are gathering, Tata! Clouds are gathering! Ooh, clouds are gathering! Oh, there are clouds, 35 rand. There you go, 35, Carolyn. Thank you. Clouds are gathering in Wakanda. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Pemi Mojadina, the minister herself. There she is. Look at that, man. She is missing a lot of meals. The starvation diet in South Africa is out of control. Boy, at least she's color coordinated. You gotta like that outfit. That's pretty cool, huh? Oh, look, they filled all the people up on one side of the stadium. She said the elections have nothing to do with the focus on local government. What you talking about, Willis? What you talking about, Willis? The elections have nothing to do with it. Yeah. Elections will come and go. But services will not go once we fix them, and our commitment since 2024 was to fix local government. Your commitment since 2024 was to fix local government. I'm sorry. Where was your commitment in 1994, 95, 2004, 2005, 2014, 2015? You have a commitment to fix local government in 2024? What planet are you on there, Pemi? We are trying to do that. If we fix local government, all of us, especially the members of the ANC, where we're governing, then people won't have complaints. Really? So just fixing the broken local governance is the problem. What about the ports? What about your dicked up foreign policy in which you support state sponsors of terrorism? You have naval exercise with state-sponsored terrorism, with human rights oppressors, with rogue states that attack their neighbors. Do you think people aren't going to complain about that? Oh my goodness. Wow. Oh, here's another one of the geniuses from the ANC. Toko Didiza. Yeah, okay. Stupid people should wear signs, man. They really should. They really should. Fat shaming? No, I just stated that she's not starving. The ANC says that black people are suffering. Well, black people are suffering, but not these caters. Not these caters. The government National Union ministers blow $450 million on travel spree in 18 months, says Action SA. Well, Action SA is looking for attention. 450 million rand. Folks, what is that in dollars? 450 million rand, right? That's not right. 450 million divided by 17, current rate. That's $26 million in 18 months for 43 people. Okay, divide that by 43. 26 million divided by 43. That means an average of $615,000. So over 18 months, divided by 18 months, that means they spend an average of $3,000 a month on travel. That's nothing. See, this is a red herring. I'm sorry, Action to say it's a red herring. 450 million blown in travel. Well, unless you can prove there were fruitless trips, there's no merit to your argument. Simply an expenditure of money for travel doesn't equate to waste or fraud or abuse. It doesn't. Many trips are necessary. Johnny Steenhuisen going to Vietnam and doing the Ronald Lamola. Remember that? Yeah, that was necessary to open trade with Vietnam. Yeah, so that trip was necessary. Was that a waste of money? Well, I'm sorry, but these figures are not useful. Simply giving me a list of 450 million rand spent, which works out to the average of $3,000 per month for these 43 members of government. $3,000 per month is nothing. My freaking plane ticket cost $3,500, which nearly bankrupted me flying to South Africa last year. $3,500 for economy. And of course, these are privileged elites. They get to fly in business class. I don't. So I'm not impressed by this Action SA. I was doing the Lamola there. Yeah. According to the data, Human Settlements Department led the spending with 33 million, following closely by the Water and Sanitation Department at 29 million. Now, that's a good question. Why are Human Settlements and the Water Department, Sanitation Department traveling? Are they traveling abroad? That's interesting. Or maybe they're traveling to fix things in South Africa. Of course, they're not fixing anything. They're fixing fuck all. So that's a problem. KZN coalition is in chaos. The NFP with one seat pushes for positions. They're greedy little bastards. I knew that was coming. It's just a matter of time. The IFP, the ANC, and the DA are urgently convening a meeting today to discuss the problem of the NFP of the government national unity, or government of provincial unity, excuse me. The meeting comes after the NFP announced it would be withdrawing from the coalition. Wow. They want seats. They want outsized responsibility, just like everyone else does. That's why coalitions are useless. Zuma is shaking up MK Party again. Oh, I guess it's Monday. So, folks, it's Monday, so MK Party is being shaken up again. Yep, there you go. Yeah, there's fat and there's you get your own zip code. That's true. That's a true statement. Yeah, so it's Monday, so it's time to shake up the MK Party, fire the caters, and bring other caters in. Colleen Makubele is axed as the party whip. All these renegades around the MK Party. MK Party's removed Colleen Makubele as a parliamentary chief whip with immediate effect, but she retains her seat as a member of parliament. The move announced on Monday is part of a broader leadership restructuring ordered by President Jacob Zuma. He's not president, former President Jacob Zuma, but I suppose he's president of MK Party, and that's what the IOL is trying to tell us. Check out the hair, man. Does she not look like Medusa? Does that not look like Medusa? I mean, I'm not complaining. It's kind of a cool hairstyle, but the woman looks like Medusa. I'm looking at snakes crawling out of her head. Is it just me? Yeah, it's a meerkat party. That's what the MK is. She looks like she got snakes coming out of her head. Politically connected businessman Colin Mashawana is sued because he hasn't paid 2 million rand in rent. Look at these caters, man. They live high off the hog and they don't even pay their damn bills. Sounds like the ANC. Colin Mashawana faces legal action from landlords in Solomon and Helena Meritz, who claim he owes them 2.1 million unpaid rent for a luxury 6 million house in Santon that he vacated more than 5 years ago with no proper notice. Wow. The lavish house valued at 6 million is owned by estate moguls Solomon and Helena Meritz. It was leased for 35,000 Rand a month. Wow, 35,000 Rand a month. Who can afford to pay 35,000 Rand a month? Who can afford that? Can you afford that? Wow, that's a lot of money. Well, the Franschhoek fire, now another fire in the Western Cape. Crews are battling contained more than 50 kilometers on a fire line. This is insane. Firefighting crews in Franschhoek are working around the clock to tame a wildfire where the fire line extends more than 50 kilometers. It's a 6-day of firefighting today. 17,000 hectares of land have been destroyed, driven by strong winds with gusts in excess of 80 kilometers per hour. Another 2,000 hectares were destroyed on the second day after the flames were driven by strong winds. Starlink is blocked from South Africa because Elon Musk is not black, Business Insider Africa says. In a recent post on X, question why Starlink, already approved in more than 125 countries and territories, including over 20 in Africa, has yet to receive authorization in the country of his birth, despite strong demand from South African consumers. He argued Starlink has been unable to secure an internet service provider licensed in the country because he's not black. Responding to a clip from a 2025 interview at the Gutter Economic Forum where he criticized the policy. That was recirculated on X, and now it's getting attention. There should be a fair and level playing field. The facts are, for anyone to observe, South Africa now has more anti-white laws than there were anti-black laws under apartheid. True statement. Critics counted Musk as framing oversimplified South Africa's legal framing, ignores the historical context behind empowerment laws. Historical context does not matter. Ladies and gentlemen, historical context does not matter. It does not matter. It's still racist. You can talk about this all day long, but it doesn't change. Whoops. What? Suddenly I'm buffering again. Oh my goodness. What's going on here? Is my internet out again? What the hell is going on? It worked for a week and now it's back a problem. Let's see. Let me run the speed test. No, I'm fine. It's up there. It's good. Must have been a momentary glitch. Sorry about that, folks. Must have been a momentary glitch. Sorry about that. It must have been on my end. No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Who cares about the historical context? That doesn't make it just and right. Morally bankrupt ideas are morally bankrupt. They don't fix past wrongs. You fix past wrongs by investing in communities that don't have resources. You don't have this nonsense. Utter nonsense, folks. Yeah, it's just a glitch in the matrix. They were just, the ANC was just tapping into my line. The National Security Agency just popped in. And when they do that, it kind of disrupts the flow. Sorry about that, guys. No, it was me. It was me. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't matter what the past historical, it does not matter. What right does the South African government have to impose racist legislation on an American company? None. And if they keep it up, they're going to find American companies banned from doing business in South Africa, which will be devastating, devastating to South Africa. Unbelievable. Past historical injustice. It has no bearing on reality. Everything was on fire. Dunoon, what a horrific situation for people in informal settlement. Quit living in shacks. Residents of Site 5 in Dunoon have started rebuilding their homes after a devastating fire. So they're going to simply put the same crap right back into a place where they're going to burn down again. Thousands of residents of Dunoon and Cape Town started picking up a piece after a devastating fire ripped through the informal settlement last week. Gift of the Givers founder Imitaz Suleiman previously put the number of displaced at 5,500. But on Monday, the city said it was just 2,456. But that's 2,456 more than people need. And this lady is looking at what's left of her residence. That was her new microwave. Remember leaving my house at 8 o'clock to buy some bread and chips for the kids. Luckily, I took the kids with me because I hate to think what would have happened to them if they were inside the house when the fire broke out. Yeah, the area's on fire again was a message she got from a neighbor. Joburg officials have raided another Bryanston mansion linked to alleged property hijacker. I wouldn't call that a mansion. That doesn't look very mansion-y to me. City of Johannesburg officials today raided a second luxury property in Bryanston believed to have been hijacked and managed by Lawrence Ramwalka, the same man allegedly linked to the first property. He's accused of being a mastermind by the property hijacking scheme in Bryanston. So, are they getting serious? I think this is just window dressing to convince the Americans that there is no expropriation. Siviwe Garuba announces the matric results for 2025. Here's another starving politician in South Africa. This poor woman has been denied access to proper nutrition, and she's suffering as a consequence of it. Basic Education Minister Siviwe Garuba from the Democratic Alliance announcing the matric results for today. The Independent Examination Board announced a 98.31 overall pass rate for the 2025 National Senior Certificate Examinations. A 98.31% pass rate. Bullshit! Bullshit! 98.31 pass rate. Bullshit. No. Sorry. Those 98.31 people are going to enter the workforce with no jobs. And now we show you the corruption of European rugby. EPCR, the European Professional Club Rugby Championships, the Championship Challenge Cup and the Champions Cup, corrupt to the core. Corrupt to the core. The Cheetahs are bounced out of the competition because they were forced to play in Amsterdam, while the Lions, the Sharks, and the Stormers and Bulls all play in South Africa for their home games. They forced the Cheetahs to travel to Amsterdam and play, and because of inclement weather, they are forced to forfeit. A bonus point victory, no less, for Ulster. An unearned win. The corruption in rugby never ends. Cheetahs knocked out of the Challenge Cup as unplayable pitch results in a 28-0 forfeit. The Cheetahs European Challenge Cup season is over after tournament organizers decided that they forfeit Sunday's match against Ulster that was due to take place at Duke's Rugby Club in Hertgenbosch. The match was initially postponed on Sunday ahead of a 3 p.m. kickoff time, with visuals from the ground showing staff desperately trying to remove snow from the turf. Looks to me like they got the snow off. Conditions were deemed unsafe for the game to go ahead, and the first communication from European Professional Club Rugby is the fixture would be postponed. Hours later, the new communication came in confirming a 28-0 bonus point win for Ulster. Upon review of the information available, the match result should be recorded as a 0-28 win to Ulster, and 5 points will be subsequently awarded to Ulster. Despite the obvious challenges connected with playing in this fixture, and noting the incredible efforts of Cheetahs and Rugby Nederland to ensure the fixture could take place, it is the hosting club's responsibility to ensure the match can go ahead, and therefore the match result must be recorded as a 0-28 4-point bonus try win for Ulster, with 5 match points being awarded. That is just corrupt. They forced the Cheetahs to play in a foreign country, and then they say that they're responsible as the host to ensure that the pitch is playable. What a crock of horse manure. The Cheetahs are cheated again. EPCR should be ashamed of itself. This game could have been played today. The pitch is safe. Nope. This is a scam. I feel for the Black Lions. Are they also being treated the same way? Unbelievable. Well, a nightmare round of rugby this weekend. Very tragic and disappointing for me. South African run of the Champs Cup is a million miles away. Yep, no one's going to win the Champions Cup. Stormers could still progress, but and they could get a home game, but they're in trouble unless they beat Leicester. Their 10-game winning streak came to a collapse, and 3 of the 4 games were losses and 1 forfeit. So we lost 4 or 5 games this weekend. Stormers are absolutely embarrassed, destroyed by a Harlequins team that had 2 wins out of 9 games. Let me repeat that. The Harlequins on the season in the Premier League have 2 wins and 7 losses. 2 wins and 7 losses, and they were destroyed by Harlequins 61-0. 61-0. Just terrible. Well, desperately disappointing is how John Dobson, who just signed a contract, good thing he signed a contract extension before this game, suffers a depth reality check. Yep. He acknowledged a disappointing performance, citing issues at defense, at the breakdowns, and in execution. 100%. All 3 of them sucked. And no drive, no ambition by the Stormers whatsoever in this game. They were never in it after the first 10 minutes. Ethiopia begins a $12.5 billion construction project for Africa's largest airport, long overdue. This was supposed to be started in 2015 when I lived in Ethiopia. Here it is 11 years later, they're finally getting around to it. Now, this is to replace Bole Airport. This will be in Bishoftu, which is located about 45 kilometers southeast of the capital of Addis Ababa. Now, you might ask, why are they building an airport 45 kilometers away? That's a good question. The reason they're building an airport 45 kilometers away is because the airport in Addis is an altitude that's too high. So flights that leave Addis Ababa that go to America or to Europe cannot get there because the planes are too heavy. At that altitude, they cannot lift off. Therefore, they must leave with a half fuel load, with half the fuel, so they don't have too much weight. They take off, they fly to Saudi Arabia, to Jeddah. They refuel there, and then they continue their flight. Flights coming from the U.S. or from Europe can come directly to Bole Airport. But flights leaving from Bole Airport cannot get in the air and make it to their destination. They will run out of petrol. They'll run out of avgas. Therefore, they must fly to Jeddah and refuel on their way to Europe or to the United States. So they're building this massive airport. Plus, Bole is old. It's crappy. It needs to be replaced. This airport will park 270 planes. It will be massive, one of the largest on the planet, quite frankly. $12.5 billion is the initial cost. It's more than 4 times the capacity of the current airport. Yep. Airlines Infrastructure Development Planning Director Abraham Tesfaye told reporters it would fund 30% and lenders would finance the rest. The project was initially billed at $10 billion, but now it's already at $12.5 billion, and it's already a decade behind when it was supposed to have been built. Australia is moving to the highest risk category of student visas coming from India. They've tightened checks for student visas from India as it moved India to the highest risk category along with Nepal, Bangladesh, and Bhutan, all South Asian states. The new categorization came into effect from January 8th as these 4 South Asian countries have been moved from evidence level 2 to evidence level 3. So, it's not just the United States cracking down on immigration, it's also the Aussies and many others. China plans to put 200,000 satellites in space. What? They're calling Starlink a crash risk. U.S. Federal Communications Commission said it approved SpaceX to launch 7,500 second-generation Starlink satellites. But China wants to put 200,000 satellites. They filed a submission with the UN agency. They accuse Elon Musk of crowding shared orbital resources. So I'm a little confused. Elon Musk puts 7,500 box-size satellites in space. The Chinese want to put 200,000 of them, and he's the one crowding the space? Yeah, I don't think so. Grok and Elon Musk are being investigated by British censorship authorities over sexual images on AI. British regulators said it started a formal investigation into Mr. Musk's chatbot over the spread of illegal images. British authorities on Monday announced an investigation in X. Ofcom, the British censorship regulator with oversight on online platforms, said it started a formal inquiry to consider whether X had violated a law that aims to stop the spread in Britain of priority illegal content, including non-consensual intimate images and child sexual abuse material. Now, there's been no allegations or proof of child sexual material. That's just a statement to tarnish this company's reputation. This is what happens with censorship regimes. Correct. Gemini and ChatGPT do the exact same thing, but they're going after Elon Musk. Why? Because Elon Musk's X platform allows people to tell the truth about the censorship regime of Keir Starmer and the fascists who run the United Kingdom. And that's why they want to go after them. Greenland says no. It cannot accept U.S. desire to control territory after Trump's threat he would take it over one way or the other. Oh, my goodness. Greenland cannot accept U.S. desire to control its territory. Will work with Denmark to step up dialogue on territory's defense through NATO. The Greenlandic government has issued a statement responding to the latest comments from President Trump. The statement stressed that Greenland was part of the Kingdom of Denmark, and as part of the Danish Commonwealth, Greenland is a member of NATO, and defense of Greenland must therefore be done through NATO. Well, the problem with that, of course, is Greenland is a colony of Denmark, and not part of Denmark. It's a colony of Denmark. So let's just get this straight. Now, do you speak Danish? Because if you do, then you can read the statement. USA har egen architekt sitt önska om till övertag Grönland. Detta kan regeringskoalition i Grönland på ingen måte acceptera. Isn't that funny? That's not in an Inuit language. That's in Danish. Because it's a colony of Denmark. På baggrund af den for Grönland meget positiv tilkendegivelse fra de NATO medlemslande vil nakle skryt ugearbejde for at forskot Grönland. That's Danish, not Inuit. It's a colony of Denmark. The Prime Minister of Denmark, the colonizer of Greenland, says Denmark faces a decisive moment as Trump renews threat of force over Greenland. Mette Frederiksen, desperately searching for any relevance, will probably be reelected over popularity over this position because she's standing up to Trump, even though her party lost control of Copenhagen for the first time since 1938. But now she has something to latch onto. The United States has issued a travel advisory for Grenada, updated by the department to a level 2 country from level 1 because of the risk of crime. Department's travel advisories to Caribbean islands vary, with some like Martinique, Barbados, and Dominica listed as level 1, while Bahamas is level 2. Jamaica is level 3, and telling people they should reconsider travel to Jamaica. Grenada now gets bumped up to level 2 because of the crime threat. So which countries have the largest Venezuelan expatriate population? Of course, millions of Venezuelans have fled the socialist paradise of Venezuela. 8 million Venezuelans, or a quarter of the population, have fled their country in recent years. So where do they go? Well, the U.S. is not the largest destination. In fact, it's Colombia with 2.8 million, Peru with 1.7 million, the U.S. with nearly 1 million of these Venezuelans here. Brazil, Chile, Spain, Ecuador, Argentina, Mexico, and Dominican Republic. 8 million. There's 476 Venezuelans in Africa. Yes. That's where they all went. They fled it. President Trump is trolling again. He's trolling the world, this time with a fake Wikipedia page posted on his Truth Social. Honestly, this is juvenile. I don't think the president should be doing silly things like this. Donald Trump, the acting president of Venezuela. Really don't think that's a good idea. But he's trolling the world on his Truth Social. Federal prosecutors are now have an investigation into Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell over renovations to the Federal Reserve location. The inquiry includes analysis of Mr. Powell's public statements and examination of spending records. It was approved in November by Jeanine Pirro, a longtime ally of President Trump, and a former Fox News commentator, Judge Jeanine, now an attorney for the District of Columbia. Minnesota Mayor Jacob Fry, the lunatic, crying, whiny, why baby. Yes. He dismissed ICE shooting today, saying the agent walked away with a hop in his step. This moron is an absolute idiot. He walked away with a hop in his step from the incident. There's another person that's dead. He held on to his cell phone. I think that speaks for itself. I think this moron speaking speaks for itself. He's a moron. Yes, yin and yang. Trump likes to keep people off balance. That's why he's trolling. Minnesota's Representative Ilhan Omar says a federal probe into Minnesota's welfare fraud is creating chaos and confusion. Really? Chaos and confusion? What? We are discovering your fraud? It's not necessarily a moment when we are trying to deal with the serious problem that serious people need to be able to address. She's claiming that the investigation into $9 billion of fraud is a waste of taxpayer resources. I think her salary is a waste of taxpayer resources, but that's just me. What do you think? Portland's police chief cries while admitting that DHS was correct about the Trinidad married family who is a pimp and his hoe. Portland Police Chief Bob Day choked up while revealing 2 Venezuelan illegal immigrants shot by federal agent have suspected Trinidad connections. Yeah, it was so tragic for him.
I want to speak for just a moment specifically to my Latino community.
Do you now? He's crying. Look at little bitch.
It saddens me.
The crying little bitch.
We even have to qualify these remarks because I understand, or at least have attempted to understand through your voices, your concern, your fear, your anger. This information in no way is meant to disparage or to condone or support or agree with any of the actions that occurred yesterday. But it is important.
But wait for it. Wait for it. The crybaby's going to tell the truth now in just a moment. You wait for it. You wait for it. He's going to tell the truth. In no way condones the actions that were lawful by law enforcement and were necessary because you pussies didn't do your job.
That we stay committed to the rule of law, that we stay committed to the facts.
No, you don't.
That we stay.
No, you don't. This never would have happened.
A trustworthy and legitimate police department for all of Portlanders.
You're not trustworthy and
we
legitimate.
Have some nexus to involvement with TDA.
What?
We can confirm that. We know that we had a shooting in Northeast Portland in July of this year, and the victim in that shooting was self-identified as a Venezuelan immigrant.
Not an immigrant, criminal alien invader, you wuss.
That the suspects in that shooting were associated with TDA. Based upon that, we've been working that case. It's an ongoing investigation, but we have been working that case, and there's also been involvement with the two people who were shot yesterday by the federal officers through some criminal cases out in Washington County. So this is a regional effort as we look at this group affiliation and the potential for violence that has occurred. And it's still ongoing, so I don't have details. And what I can say is there is an association with the two folks yesterday and TDA. I hesitated to even share this information initially.
Of course, because you didn't want to lie.
Of the historic injustice of victim blaming, oftentimes portrayed by law enforcement, including this very agency that I've represented so proudly for so many years. And historically, we have not been quick to disclose the potential criminal history of others. But I felt it was imperative because I was asked yesterday in the news conference what information we have. This is information we have. This in no way draws a through line to the actions or the behaviors that occurred yesterday.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, but this guy is just a piece of work. So the crying police chief, he didn't want to release the information. He was reticent to release the information because of historical injustices. This is not a police chief. This is a criminal alien invader facilitator. This man must be arrested, must be removed from office. He is undermining federal law enforcement efforts in the city of Portland. He is a lying sack of horse manure. He is a detriment to public safety. These people who coddle, first off, they call them immigrants. They're not immigrants, you dipshit, dingbat, doorknob. They're criminal alien invaders. And the lie that was spread by CNN, who lied about this and caught, was that there was a married couple innocently going about their business shot by immigration and border enforcement. That's a lie. This was a pimp and his hoe. A pimp and his hoe. She was out peddling and he was transporting her to peddle. They are criminals. Previously wanted in shootings. That incompetent police department couldn't close the case. Couldn't close the case. Unbelievable. Exactly, Julie. Sit on it and spin. What a loser. Stand up, be a man, and get out of law enforcement. Exactly. The ginger-haired wuss. Exactly. Blue hair and man bun city. Yep. Yep. Yeah, they give off the same. Yeah, that's right. John Spartan. John Spartan. What are you doing, John Spartan? You can't do that, John Spartan. He realized he was wrong all along that they were to blame as Democrats. Yep. Yeah, that's why preliminary statements shouldn't be emotional opinion. It prevents egg on the face. Yep. That's why I often hold off on my news. You know, I'm asked to do stories about things, and until I have the facts, I mean, I try to breaking news stories. I do that. I bring you breaking news stories, but I try to keep the hyperbole and the nonsense out of them as best as possible. It's like the number of people that are dead in Iran. I have no way to confirm how many people the regime has murdered. No idea. I'm reporting what the press reports, and if I'm skeptical, I'm skeptical. And also tell you that I can't prove the provenance of the information. Uh-oh, what's going on with John Steenhuisen? Thank you, Mad Max. 35 Rand Super Chat. Let's see what John Steenhuisen's up to. Okay. So he's going to give an update on foot and mouth disease. Well, I asked him to come on my program a year ago. He refused. Well, he promised. His PA promised. Let's be accurate. And then they never fulfilled it. Minister of Agriculture, Mr. Steenhuisen, will give an update on the status of foot and mouth disease in the country, as well as an outline of strategy and timelines to vaccinate the national herd in order to achieve FMD-free status through vaccination from the World Organization of Animal Health. The 14th of January in Cape Town. Wow, there you go. Only 13 months too late. Wow. Awesome. I said, awesome, 13 months tardy. Better late than never. Nope, epic failure. Epic failure. A little too late, 13 months too late. Yep. Maybe the force be with you. What's going on? What's going on with CBB? Julie Russell, how's it going? And that is, ladies and gentlemen, the news for today. Be sure to hit the like button. And for those who are desperate to talk about other issues, we can do that now. Yep, happy to do that now. Thank you for your patience. Took a little while to get through it. She's also standing up to Muslims. That's why she's so popular. Who is that? What would the reaction of the U.S. be if Russia or China attempted to establish a northern outpost in Greenland? Well, the problem with that is the U.S. has a northern outpost in Greenland. We have a base there with Space Base Pacific, and been there for decades. It wasn't a space base, but now it is a space base. That would not. It's not going to happen. The Russians wouldn't try that. They wouldn't try it. Good evening, Nev. What's going on? You know, Greenland cannot afford to be independent. Average pass. Oh, thank you, Rainer Schulten, for bringing light into the story. I didn't have time to get through all of it. The average pass marks: math 38%, physical science 40%. Yeah, but they're talking about a 98% pass rate. That's bullshit. Total bullshit. Total nonsense. Let me see if I was able to copy that figure. I got it. Cool. Thank you for that. Wow. Terrible. With all the handing outs, you just need to answer 1 of 10 questions correct to pass the matric. In other words, you don't need any knowledge, and there's still some who failed the exam. A lot who failed the exam, Anton. Some of the Bryanston raid had landlords on site showing evidence of purchasing the premises having occupation rights. Don't think all tenants are illegal. No, anime. No, they had fake purchasing rights. Yeah, no. There's 150 people, and there's no way 150 people own that property. The first one. I don't know about this one. What they never reveals the amount of students taking the matric reference number of students enrolled in 2025. Well, what they really don't reveal, Loretta, is the number of students who enroll in year 1 education 12 years ago. And now, 12 years later, how many are left that take the matric? That number will shock you. It's about half. The Iranian rial is to the euro is 0. Nobody wants it. I think we need summer siesta. Can't even contemplate walking a couple hours. Yeah, it's hot. Strange they call for revolution first, education later. Now it's forget education, rather have redistribution. That's well said, Alan. There's a new word in the caterer's verbal card pack. Used to be just apartheid. Now it's sovereignty. Yeah, exactly. It's sovereignty. Since Trump turned up the heat. It's very smoky in the sky on the West Coast. The fires, that's got to be bad. They did write about asking for an election donation after declining his internet provider license. Yeah, I heard that, but I never confirmed that. That was the story that was out there. Yes, MK is going through restructuring more frequently than a poorly run Ponzi scheme. I like that. That's why when they travel to South Africa, the citizens ask where you get the food. Yeah, it's not fat shaming. It's being perceptive. Yes, Ramaphosa is in the UAE. That's correct. Yes, the East African Muslim slave trade was far worse than transatlantic, but the Sahel slave trade, which went on for a millennia, was worse than any of them. Yep. Because they castrated the men who were brought there so they couldn't reproduce. Yep. The 98% pass rate in private schools, possibly. I don't have that information. School leavers, yeah, that's the word. And Quentin, I got to get the, I got to turn on the alert box. It's off. Thank you, Quentin, for your membership. Appreciate it. Sent you an email info for all viewers. I see it as urgent, but trust your judgment. All right, Anton, you sent me an email. Let me go look. Email. By the way, did my video get up? Yeah, there it is. It's up. Okay. Anton. Okay, here it is. I'm going to have to research it. You're talking about a company that says is scamming people, so I need to take a look at this. I'll have to look at it. It's going to take some time. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. That's something I can't just go off that right now. Okay. Try to say a lot less in school in 12th grade. Oh, gotcha, Loretta. Yeah, I might have misread what you read. Hey, Janet Liddy's here. What's up? What's up? Okay, now nobody wants to talk about refugees. So last night, the Texas Authority don't take crap from the left protests. Yeah, that shows you that most people just want the news. Hit the like button, folks, if you haven't done it. That Buckman super sticker that you can use and share in all your chats and apps. Okay, Marley. Did you receive the video I shared with you? I have no idea, Mr. Vibes. How did you share it with me? Email or WhatsApp? Video about an African fighting for Russia and Ukraine. They taught. Yeah, I saw that. I showed it, but only parts of it on my broadcast. I didn't cover the part where, because YouTube. Yeah, censorship. You only need to know 30 or 40% of your work to fall into 90% category. Correct, Hank Adrian say. Another OG. Hank's been here forever. You are correct. That's exactly what the deal is. Ouch. Chris Swanepoel has info for me on WhatsApp. Okay. Okay. Last thing I have from you, Chris, is in November. The last thing I have for you from WhatsApp is in November. Did you change your phone number? November 12th is the last thing I have from you. I've strangely had no messages from you in ages. Yep. November 12th is the last thing I have from Chris Swanepoel. I have another Chris. An old man Chris. Is that the one? Is that you? Yeah, I know about that. If that's you, I know about that. All right, so Daily Maverick is reporting that Iran has pulled out of the exercise. Even though it began on Saturday, now they say they pulled out of it. So Neff said you were waiting and hoping for a pre-screen interview to confirm. You got it today. It's a virtual interview. Okay, good. Good. Federal government watch list. What kind of people get on that list in the USA? People who commit serious crimes and terrorism. If you commit violence on a flight, you're going to be on a watch list. You won't be allowed to fly. All right, so hang on a second here. Mr. Vibes on WhatsApp. Okay. Okay. Well, it's not working. There we go. ENCA. Oh, no, I saw that. I played that last night. I played that video. That's Fall Mzansi. Yeah, that's Fall Mzansi. That guy's an idiot. I mean, it is him, right? Let me see.
Certain requirements in terms of...
Oh, no, that's not him. It's Kingsley Machiavelli. Boy, they wear the same glasses. Yeah, okay, so yeah. Yeah, South Africa does have the option to reject Bernd Posel. Of course they do. Who said they didn't? I never did. But it's a dumb idea. They'll be stupid if they do it.
Certain requirements in terms
Kingsley
of
Machiavelli.
Article 4 of the Vienna Convention. South Africa can accept or can decline to provide an agreement for the ambassador designate. But I just want to clarify one issue that sometimes confuses people. To decline an agreement must be based on his personal behavior.
Correct.
Not on the articulation of his government position.
Correct.
Meaning that what he said at the Senate about pursuing those three things that he identified
isn't a basis.
South Africa aligning itself with adversaries and so on, you can't decline him an agreement based on that.
Exactly.
But South Africa can certainly decline an agreement based on his previous behavior. So those are the grounds of declining agreement. But as an ambassador, I think he's going to, if South Africa approves, he's going to realize that building relations, it takes more than one. It takes two to tango. He would have to accommodate and understand the South African political space. If he doesn't do that, he's likely to become irrelevant. He may come here and relate only to people who agree with him, and those who don't agree with him may decide to ostracize him. And that would make him totally irrelevant in terms of improving relations or articulating the views of his government.
100%.
Certainly.
100%. Thank you for that. Yeah, that's 100%. I thought that was, Fall Mzansi. It wasn't Fall Mzansi. It was Kingsley Makubela. He's 100% correct. That's correct. But I mean, I've said that all along. It's not news to me. I mean, you can't reject him based on our country's position. That's a violation of the Vienna Conventions. But then South Africa doesn't care about the Vienna Conventions. They don't care about international agreements. They say they do, but they violate them left and right. They're shipping arms to a sanctioned Libyan war leader in Benghazi. They're sending mercenaries to murder people in Ukraine. They are violating diplomatic protocol under the Vienna Conventions by raiding a diplomatic mission in Woodmead. They don't give a shit about the Vienna Convention's international agreements unless they can stand on a box and claim that this is important, but they don't actually follow these things. They don't actually follow them. They are holding a naval exercise with sanctioned Russians, with human rights abusers, Chinese, and with state sponsors of terrorism in Iran. And they're openly holding an exercise with these people. Now, I did receive something a few minutes ago, I think it was from Mad Max, and this is in the Daily Maverick, which Peter Fabricius is reporting that, where'd it go? Okay, I have it here somewhere. Iran has pulled out of the exercise, but it's too late. It started on Saturday, so it's already Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 3 days into a week-long exercise, and now they're pulling out. But the excuse can be because they have to go home. This is not because they're kowtowing to America, because they're arrogant. Iran pulls out of South Africa's joint naval exercise amid political tensions. Iran has 3 warships waiting in False Bay, but they will not join South Africa, China, Russia, and the UAE in the naval exercise. Iran has withdrawn from joint naval exercise about to start in False Bay. The Iranian ships sent 3 warships to False Bay. It's understood they will not participate. Sources have confirmed the decision has been made for the Iranian ships not to join. However, most of the 10 nations are not participating, or if they are doing so, only in part. Last week, 2 Chinese, 2 Russian, 3 Iranian, 1 Emirati warship arrived. So far, the participating countries have only held a parade onshore and conducted planning. They were scheduled to sail on Monday or Tuesday, the exercise area, and will have live firing as well as coordination of other maritime operations. There are reports that Pretoria has urged Iran to withdraw from the exercise to avoid antagonizing the U.S. The legislation for AGOA gives eligible African countries duty-free access to the U.S. government, or to U.S. marketplace. Yep. South African government source insisted in the matter that the decision for Iran to withdraw from the naval exercise had been taken before the protests erupted in Iran and before South Africa knew about the decision about AGOA. Sure it did. Sure it did. It's a good report by Peter Fabricius. Wow. It's not clear if the Iranian ships remain in the harbor or in False Bay while the other ships go out to sea and conduct the exercises. Meanwhile, House Representatives announced last week that a bill to extend AGOA, well, you can't extend AGOA, you have to come up with a new law through the end of 2028, was set for consideration on January 12th. So, that's breaking news. I'll have to make a video on that now. Iran realized that calling it will for peace while hundreds of unarmed protesters are being shot dead in Iran at the same time is probably not a smart idea. Yeah, maybe. U.S. Court rejects Mondami's attempt to block real estate deal involving Israeli-owned company. Okay. Jerusalem Post is the only one reporting on it. No, the New York Times has done it. No. The only one reporting on it is Jerusalem Post. No one else is reporting on it. It happened yesterday. Only one media outlet reporting on it here in the U.S. U.S. court rejects Mamdani's attempt to block real estate deal involving Israeli-owned company. The deal is valued at $450 million, includes more than 5,000 apartments across 90 billions. U.S. bankruptcy court rejected New York fascist Islamist extremist Mayor Zohran Mamdani's attempt to block a major real estate transaction involving U.S. branch of the Israeli company Summit Properties. For Mamdani, who has made tenant protection a core theme of his platform, the ruling represented a personal setback. One of the central buildings, including the deal, is a neglected property in Brooklyn that he visited on his first day in office, where he publicly promised residents the city would step in on their behalf. Not anymore. Not anymore. During the hearings, the city presented data showing that properties already owned by Summit have more than 780 open violations, including 290 classified as posing immediate danger. Company spokesman said the buildings are old and deficiencies are being addressed on an ongoing basis. As the case progressed in court, dozens of Pinnacle tenants demonstrated outside their offices. Yep, there you go. We both spoke about AGOA. I brought AGOA up. It's not ALGOA, it's AGOA. AGOA is not illegal. It's not illegal. What are you talking about? It has no bearing on South Africa. It's not illegal. How do you mean it's illegal? What are you talking about, Virtual Western Cape? AGOA is not illegal. It's a U.S. law that gives duty-free access to a marketplace. It has no bearing on South African law. No, it's okay. It has no bearing on South African law. What are you talking about? How is it illegal in South Africa? Please explain that. No, a lot of South Africans, especially Afrikaners, always say ALGOA. Yes, it's a bay in Port Elizabeth. I know. A lot of people say that. Oh, spell check is doing it, okay. I covered the million spent on government national unity travels, and I think it's a tempest in teapot. It's a bunch ado about nothing, unless they can prove that there was fraud, waste, and abuse. Well, they're not taking long with Bozell. He hasn't presented his credentials yet. He's not in South Africa. As I said, he'll get there probably the third week of January, would be my guess. I made that prediction in December when they first confirmed him. It's an average time I receive approval letters after all steps. There's no such thing as an average timeline. Monthly polling people has done all. No, I'm doing monthly poll is silly. I mean, I do broadcast every day. I mean, my schedule yesterday was 8 o'clock. Stormer's disastrous performance on Rugby and Senate. Then I produced a video. Then I went live at 10:30 till 12:30. 12:30, I took a short break and prepared for my interview at 1 o'clock with a refugee. Did that till 2:30. From 2:30 to 4 o'clock, I did another broadcast. I took a short break. At 8:30, I was on the air doing a podcast with Nate Kane on Raising Cain, and at 9 o'clock on his live broadcast on Rumble with Nate Kane. At 10 o'clock, I was on my program doing a broadcast. That was my day yesterday. And people are like, have you checked the email? Why don't you respond to my email? Are you serious? Could I take a dump? Could I get something to drink? Could I stretch my legs? Could I get out of the house for a minute? Yeah, it's a pretty hectic pace. And then today it should be a little bit easier, but I got to go in the Veterans Organization around 5 o'clock tonight. Meantime, I've got to produce a new video because of this story here. There's no average timeline. There's no such thing as an average timeline, G9. And doing a poll, I do polls all the time. A monthly poll, I mean, what would I tie that to? They're not going to decline him. If they do, that's going to be massive news. I'm not going to deny him, Krista. No. Did Ron Post ask around to leave Southern Waters due to what's going on? What do you mean clickbait? Where's the clickbait at? I don't see a clickbait title. Oh, it was another channel. Yeah, it's probably another channel, clickbait. Yep. Do you think there's any reason America will try and intervene in South Africa? No, I don't. I'm becoming less and less convinced that the United States will take any action against South Africa. I'm not seeing it. I'm just not seeing it. Is anyone watching the trick results? What do you mean is anyone watching? I'm watching them, engineer. I report on them. Looked into that conversation with Otto about my WhatsApp. Huh? No, I haven't looked into it. No, I haven't talked to Ronaldo since you asked me that yesterday. Send me an email about foot and mouth disease. I've got a bunch of emails from people about foot and mouth disease. A bunch of documents people have been sending me too. Okay, now we're back, caught up. Would you mind if I ask you a question? Nothing about refugees? Yeah, please ask your question, Rena. I don't mind. Did I work in 75 continents? Is that a trick question? Are you messing with me? Did I type something incorrectly? I've been to over 70, almost 80 countries. Is that what your question is, Rena? Ramaphosa is not to be messed with. Any attempt from you to say we kick off World War III. No, Rena, there aren't 75 continents, so if I said that, it must have been a mistake. I haven't done a live chat on that channel in a while, so I'm not sure what you're referring to. Yeah. No, you mean stunned that I've been to about 80 countries? I have lived in 8 African countries, and I've worked in about 38 or 40 African countries. So there's that. I have lived in Germany and Italy as well. And I have deployed in combat in multiple places in the Middle East and in the Balkans. So I don't really count that as living. I suppose you count that as living. I've lived in Israel. I've also worked in the United Kingdom, in France, in Germany, in Austria, in Italy, in Europe. And if I include some other actions, so you add that up. Yeah, it's a lot of countries. No go, the wrath of Ramaphosa. Seriously. Thank you, Rena. Well, I mean, thank you. That's kind of you to have respect for me. I appreciate it. It's very, very awesome of you. But just being in countries doesn't make any reason for respect. It just means I've been around a lot. You should get back Emma Powell. Emma Powell has gone into a hit. She's not around anymore. She's disappeared completely. I don't think my message even reached her. Let me see if it got to her. Now, I last wrote to her on November 18th. September 21st, I sent her a message. August 26th, I was in touch with her. September 21st, never got a second tick. November 18th, so I wrote to her. August 28th, I was in contact with her. September 21st, I sent a message, 1 tick mark. October 31st, a month later, another message, tick mark. November 18th, another message, 1 tick mark. She has not received my messages. Either she's turned off her phone or she's changed her number or she's blocked me on WhatsApp. I don't think she's blocked me. I think she's changed her number. Emma Powell has disappeared. We need proof of life of Emma Powell. Can somebody give us proof of life of Emma Powell? She's just disappeared completely. Yep. Date for virtual meeting, but he said I don't need to travel. Well, yeah, that's what virtual means, Bitterender. Virtual means you're not there. It's electronic. That's what virtual means. Yes, people have done virtual home screening. Most people do that from home. Yes, that's normal. That's normal, Bitterender. Longest 20 minutes of my life waiting to be able to chat on here. Hey, Quentin. Welcome to you. Why did you have to wait 20 minutes? You're a member. Most of the world thinks our Navy's a joke. Yep. What I was thinking was if the poll ties complete all steps. Yeah, no, I did that. We just did one of those on Sunday. It's not easy to do. You only get 4 answers. You get 4 things you can put on a poll, and that's not the idea. The way to do it is like, when did you get when did you get approved? May, June, July, August, September, October, November. I can't do that. The hunt for Emma Powell. Yep. She's probably already in the U.S. Digital welfare checks sound draconian. Powell's bravery has unfortunately tanked the stock market. Fed must be independent. Maduro took over his Fed. They started printing funding money. AI, good for now. What are you talking about? Jerome Powell's bravery? What bravery? What tanked stock market? Dude, my portfolio was up 26% in 2025. 26%! I don't know what you're talking about. What stock market? You talking about the Johannesburg stock market? Just making stuff up as he goes. I hope Emma's okay too. I haven't heard from her. Maybe there's a chemical fire at Montague Gardens. Well, that's terrible, Monray. Thanks for that. Oh, man. Where are you getting this stuff from, man? Hang on a second. Sorry, I'm trying to reach out to somebody about this situation. Okay, waiting since being November for approval flight. Hey, Angela Dutoy, what's up? What the hell did I say, Algoa? One of you made me do it. Crypto, you're up 300%. Well, that's a lot better than I've done. Neighbor Ronaldo knows a bit more. No, I don't think he knows about Emma Powell. Today's market crash. I'm not talking about 25. What market crash? What are you talking about? What market crash? The markets are open. There was no news on the stock market this morning. Let me take a look and see what you're talking about. S&P 500 is little changed. Dow opens lower. Dollar weakens. What are you talking about? What crash? What crash? 1 hour ago. The NASDAQ added 0.2%. And the stock market is down 95 points from 49,500. It's changed 0.19. Dude, you're just trolling here. What are you talking about? There's no stock market crash. You need to find a life here, okay? I'm done chatting with you. Hey, Lou, what's up? Yeah, Davi Root stream was fun. How's that doing, by the way, I wonder? Let me take a look at that. The Davi Root stream... 5,800 views. That's not too bad. Yeah, he's smoking his socks. And I want to see how the video I published earlier is doing. Like Wade and Montasha one. That's got 3,700. So not great, but it's doing okay. I like the image. Did you guys see the image I did for that video? This was pretty cool. I thought I came up with a good one here. Now, of course, I don't draw this. It's AI, but I put in the parameters on what I want it to be. But I thought this was pretty good. So this is my image from my video I put out earlier. And we got the South African flag right side up. Look at them looking on with reverence at Gweda. Matasha enjoys his cocktail and his cigar. Gold money. Excuse me. Yeah, thank you, Family Abrahams, for your membership. Appreciate that. Who is Emma? Emma's Emma Powell, a member of the Democratic Alliance, an up-and-coming younger member of the Democratic Alliance who Ronaldo doesn't really get along with, apparently. But she's disappeared. Garrett got banned for what? No, Garrett, you didn't get banned for trolling. You got banned for language, buddy. And you didn't get banned, so stop misleading people. You've actually been given a lot of free reign here, and I get a lot of complaints about it. So people that I give people free reign, Too many people get free reign, is what I'm told. There's user chat that is working with the refugee program. Maybe they can do an interview with you. I have no idea what you're talking about. What person says they're working with the refugee program? Are you talking about Sam from Amerikaners? Is that who you're talking about? She was the only person in the chat that I'm aware of that is working with the program. Matthew Dixon, what's going on, man? Who is Ryan Smith? Yeah, it's Emma Powell of the DA. Correct, Vilma. Thank you, Angela, for promoting my content. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate it. Hey, Kathy likes the thumbnail. I thought it was pretty good. I'll ask my friend when I finish, says Vilma. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I haven't heard from her. I hope she's okay. Yeah, exactly, Anton. That was pretty funny. Davi says, I love money. You love it so much, even asked me for another interview to talk about money only. Exactly. That was fun. Joshua Geezer, thank you for subscribing. That was pretty funny when he said that. I was like, oh, that's cool. That was funny. I enjoyed the conversation with Davi. But you know, guys, Davi is a renowned economist. Did I not hold my own in that conversation? Did I not hold my own conversation? Well, I don't know who the person was, Jared, if it wasn't Sam. Yep. It said there was Amerikaners. I didn't see anybody else. I don't know who was in there. They didn't get back with me. Okay. Someone got the pre-screening. Okay, good. Someone else got the pre-screening interview. Oh, that's the chemical fire. Oof. That looks hectic. Okay, I'm going to use the one photo from that. Hang on. Which one is this? That one. Save as. Thank you for this one. This was sent to me. I found it now. Okay. Emma's probably hiding for exposing the truth. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, she's probably in maybe a little bit of danger. That's my concern. Why would anybody kidnap Ramaphosa? So that's the chemical fire at Montague. Yep. And Sally said, yes, you did. Thank you for that, Sally. You're welcome, Mustard Olive. Look at that. That's hectic. That's in the Western Cape, folks. Crazy stuff. Well, the Davi Root interview, I got the time wrong because I thought I coordinated with him, but I got the wrong time. He had another commitment, so we had to start early. No, she's not here. It's a refugee. Yeah, those fumes are toxic. I wouldn't want to be near them. Garrett says, I only speak of what everyone talks about around the bar. If it disturbs folks, I have no more F's to give. Stupid people, but we are solid. Okay, Garrett. Yeah, but dude, some things are inappropriate. This broadcast is watched by people over the world. And what you talk about around a bar in South Africa isn't acceptable to people in Minneapolis. Well, maybe it is Minneapolis, but not in Montana. Anyway, so, yeah, that's a bad fire. Yeah, I enjoyed Emma. She was very helpful and very good interview. I enjoyed that quite a bit. Quite a bit. So that flag fiasco one has died off. The one I did yesterday. It's 40,000. Still getting some views, but it's kind of died off. And then the one I did after that was Nancy held a party, but no one came. That was from last night. That's at 22,000. It's got me more subscribers though. And then the one I just did, anyone opens a debate about BE is a white supremacist. 3,700. Let's see if it's still going anywhere. 4,000 on that one, so it's slow. All right, Davi got his mentoring from Hein Wagner, blind from birth, but had a brilliant mind. I don't know that person. Wouldn't firing Jerome Powell and lowering interest rates cause a rise in inflation? Not necessarily, Chugsy. Remember, people made the false out claim, and I refuted it earlier last year when they said that Trump's tariffs, when he announced them in April, would fuel inflation. American consumers would be taxed to death. It would fuel inflation. I said, no, that's not necessarily true. Not necessarily the case. Why? Because there are ways that those prices can be mitigated. And it's the same thing here with lowering rates. It depends if you lower them and you heat up the economy too much. We have a growing economy, but it's not growing many jobs right now, which is something. But frankly, we don't need to grow many jobs right now. I don't know why people are obsessed with growing jobs. We have millions of jobs unfilled. We need to fill those jobs. We need to fill those jobs and then worry about whether we're creating new jobs or not. That's the bottom line here. See, people get obsessed about certain numbers and certain facts. I keep playing with these glasses, drive me nuts. And they get obsessed about this. The jobs report is slow. Jobs report is slow. Well, unemployment hasn't risen. And it's not because people aren't entering the workforce. It's not because people have given up on work like they did during Obama years or during the Biden years. It's because, well, people came back to work during Biden, but that's because of the COVID scam. It was over. But it's because there are millions of jobs unfulfilled and they're vacant. If we fill those jobs, there's plenty of jobs. If we had an economy with no vacant jobs and we were growing the economy with no new jobs, we'd have a problem because the population increases. But we have millions of unfilled jobs, and so it doesn't matter so much. Current Iran Islamic government have enough soldiers and weapons to declare war on Israel. Well, they can declare all they want, Anton, and they can reach it with ballistic missiles, but that's about all they can do. That and pay terrorists to go places. Remember you said that, Colonel, also how confused I was. What did I say, Sally? Sorry. Flag printing business, yeah. Hey, Dylan, what's going on? It's just down the road from you? Well, that's crazy. During July 2020 riots, a chemical factory warehouse was set alight. We were instructed to keep our doors when it's shut. We were kilometers away, but the wind in a certain direction, you could smell it. Yeah, it's dangerous. Hey, Teeny, what's going on? 12:22, you're behind, man. It's 12:49 now. You're way behind. You're way behind. If that's the time, if you put a time there. Oh, Weber isn't for Brian anymore. Weber's a grill. It is for Brian. Anyway, yeah, so thank you for clearing things out. What did I clear out? I'm a little confused. Thank you, Fred Lee. BRICS didn't come about until the Obama administration as an organization, as a concept. Jim O'Neill came up with it for Goldman Sachs, I think it was, back in 2000. Was it Jim O'Neill? I think it was Jim O'Neill. Let's take a look and see. Yep, Jim O'Neill, BRICS, 2001. Global Economics paper. Yep. Building better economics, BRICS, but that's... This must have been edited. There was no BRICS. Oh, yeah, he said BRICS was a small s. So this is his paper from 2001. Yep. Over the next 10 years, the weight of the BRICS, and especially China in world GDP, will grow, raising important issues about global economic impact of fiscal monetary policies. Jim O'Neill wrote this paper in 2001 for Goldman Sachs. I tell you, I just got it right. Spot on. Discuss the state of the world economy as we approach year-end, with particular emphasis on the relationship between the G7 and some of the larger emerging economies. We show their latest forecasts and suggest a healthier outlook for some of the larger emerging economies, with forecasts of 1.7% GDP growth, with Brazil, Russia, India, China set to grow again by more than the G7. So that's what this is all about. He created the BRICS acronym. Yep. There you go. That was the size of the world economy. The United States had a $9 trillion economy, $10 trillion economy in 2001. Today, it's a $30 trillion economy, 3 times as large in 25 years. China had a $5 trillion. They have a $17 trillion. So it's 200% larger. Japan, just like the U.S. Japan had a 3. I think they have a 7 or 8 billion. Then Germany, France, UK, Italy, Brazil, Russia, all the way down there. No mention of South Africa anywhere in that list 20 years ago. There you go. So this was what started it. Jim O'Neill. And here he is, Jim O'Neill, 2 decades on. He says the promise lingers. I disagree. His assessment of them is bad. Oh, 70 Rand. Thank you for the news. Thank you so much, Sigi. Appreciate that. Wow. Quentin has to go. First time watching me, subscribed and keen to watch more. How do you have a membership already? Because you joined today? Thank you, Quentin. Appreciate you joining. Bricks do sink in water. Lily and you are going to have a blast. I have a tequila for both of you on that day. Oh, you mean when we do the meet and greet on the 31st of January? Yep. Love you with you in Dallas in January. It's going to be an amazing time. Rand was, yep. Yeah, Rand was 1-1 against the mark in 86. True. Thanks for joining, Quentin. I'm glad you're here. Yep. Anyway, so yeah, there's Jim O'Neill 2 decades later. And I don't share his enthusiasm. I don't share his enthusiasm. I think he's... did he write this in June 2021? Well, that was 2021. I don't agree. I didn't agree then. I don't agree now. No, I just don't agree now. So was he at Chatham House? Yep, chairman of Chatham House in 2021. Yep, I don't agree with Jim O'Neill. No. I think he's wrong. Wrong. In 2021. I don't disagree with his assessment in 2001. I do think that, in fact, that the BRICS was a big deal in 2001. So we were told that the market is collapsing. Here's the market as of this minute. So just to stop the fake news by someone in the chat here. There's the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. Not the Dow Jones, but look at that. The NASDAQ and the S&P 500. They dipped about 1%. 2 of the 3 are... The Dow is also on. The Dow is underwater slightly at negative 0.2. But both the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, the 3 indexes, 2 of them are in the positive territory today. So that's just nonsense. If I'm not mistaken, back in Jan Smuts' day, the rand was higher than $1 a pound. Perhaps. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. So let me take a look here. How are we doing? We got 474 likes. Can we push that to 500? Can we push the likes to 500, folks? There's 400 plus people here. Is Quids here? Where's Quids at? I didn't see Quids. I don't see Quids. And Graham McCallum just subscribed. Thank you for subscribing, Graham. Car guards. What is all the thumbs up? Thumbs up for the video, for liking it. Yeah, it helps drive the algorithm. I think at 68 the rand was 72 cents for $1. Just show you how politicians build or break the economy, in my opinion. Derek Savvy. I think the guy that spoke about the market crash is staying next to the chemical fire. You're very welcome, Bonnie. Oh, dear God. You guys are killing me, man. You're killing me. We had some pretty crazy, hectic streams on Friday and Saturday. We're about to 500. Thank you for that. Keep pushing it. Keep pushing that like button. Yeah, so the streams yesterday and today are a lot slower, and Saturday, that's fine, but Thursday and Friday, they were really good. Yeah, the rand has always sucked, she says. Okay. All right. All right, guys. Let's go and wrap it up here. You all have a good day. Thanks for being here, tuning in. I'm going to pay my water bill and take the check to them later on today. $208 for 1 quarter. Anyway, so I'll pay my water bill, and I've got some other work to do. Also got to sort through all the new kit that I got. New kit. And don't forget, tonight we'll have night owls, all right? And if anything breaks, but in the meantime, I'll make a video about the exercise the Iranians pulling out, okay? Taken during the onsmuts, it was 1-to-1 to the pound, okay? When do you suppose the billions in fraud and Planned Parenthood will be brought up? It's been brought up repeatedly, Holden. It's been brought up for years. What do you mean when will it be brought up? You guys are welcome. Thanks a lot. Well, suddenly everybody starts chatting all of a sudden. 512 likes now. Cool beans. All right, that's it. We're going to do it. We're out of here. You guys take care. Appreciate it. I appreciate your time. It is my time, but it's our time. As Spicoli told Mr. Hand in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, well, Mr. Hand, I figured since, you're here and we're here, it's our time. Yep, and it's our time. All right, so cool beans, guys. Take care. Thanks for being here. God bless.